Now then, people, it's Joe, it's All Leeds TV, and it's time for another opposition pre-match chat. Obviously, we face the Foxes, Leicester City, at the King Power Stadium on Sunday. So we've got two fantastic Leicester fans with us. One of them you'll know pretty well, Mr. Locks, who should be bald, but for some reason he's got a cap on. So I think he should take it off. There we go. Looking good, mate. Join the crew and all that. And we've got Jack as well, who's also from Leicester City TV. How are you doing, Jack? All right?
Yeah, good boys. You?
Yeah, good. Excited for the game, mate. Excited for the game to see what's going to happen this time around. Admittedly, quite nervous that we could be on the end of another spanking, but it's a bit of a free hit for us, you know. And you should be, I guess, infused now that clubs look at Leicester as a bit of a free hit because they're one of the top 6 now. Would you say, lads?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just other pundits and that don't really see Leicester as a top 6 club. They're invisible to whoever else on Sky Sports and that. So apart from that, I see us as a top 6 club. We've earned it on merit. Last season we were up there quite a lot, and then we just dropped after the break what we had due to COVID. So this season we seem more stronger, and this season we've got the mentality to stay up there, I think.
Yeah, and massive squad depth as well, Locks, this time around.
Oh, yeah, massively. I mean, it was funny. At the start of this season, a lot of Leicester fans were actually negative, weren't looking forward to this season because we were convinced our squad depth was rubbish. And I think the reason for that was because up until Project Restart, we hadn't had many injuries at all over the past couple of years. We'd kind of just sailed through, not many of our big players getting injured. So when they did all seem to just start getting injured, picking up, little injuries, long-term injuries, whatever they were, we were worried. But I think the players that have come in this season have done magnificently. Papi Mendy was one of them, which was, and Ndidi's always a big miss. And he got injured again last night as well against Everton. So we'll have to see how long-term that is. But, Mendy, players like Mendy, James Justin came in towards the end of last season. They've done so well. So, yeah, the squad depth is much better than what we actually thought it was, this time last year.
Cool. Right, before we delve too much into it, I just want to give a shout out to Football Prizes who sponsor Before the Whistle Blows and Monday Night Football. Have just been in touch with me today. They've got a fantastic prize on offer, a Rodrigo Moreno signed match-worn Poppy shirt, and they just asked if we'd give it a push for them this evening, so I said I definitely would. So that ends Monday the 8th of Feb. There's 245 tickets available. And the ticket cost is £9.95, but might be a little bit more pricey than normal. But the opportunity to wear, to get your hands on an official match-worn Poppy shirt, they're very rare to find, signed by the greatest player in the Premier League himself, in Rodrigo Moreno, then, it's worth that little outlay. So get involved in that. And they've also got a Pascal Struijk signed and frame Leeds United shirt, the next Virgil van Dijk. So yeah, if you want to get your hands on that, it's £4.95 a ticket, and there's 99 tickets available, and that'll end this Monday. I can't believe it's February already, man. It's going quick. Guys that are watching the stream, as I say, a little earlier than normal. As I say, I know you all prefer to watch it after and stuff. 8 o'clock's normally our time, but if you could all smash a like on the video, it massively helps the channel and the work that we put in. So if you haven't already, please smash a like on the video, and yeah, get more people in so we can have a better chat and get some questions in as well that we'll put to Locks and Jack towards the end once we've gone through some key points we want to touch on. But let's start, Oscar. First of all, I'll come to you, my man. Obviously, last time out, we were at Ellen Road. We were on the end of a hiding in the end, 4-1. We lost to a great Leicester City side. They're a fantastic side, and probably will get Champions League football. It's between them and Spurs, maybe for that 4th position, possibly. I don't know. The Leicester fans might have, want to go higher up. Obviously, Man United losing last night to the Blades, which was absolutely fantastic. Get up, Hal, buzzing with that. Twanzebe! I just needed to get that in there as well. But yeah,
I just can't wait. Hal tomorrow is just going to be basically just. I mean, he's going to want like royalty. He's going to be like royalty. He's going to want like a red carpet because just putting out for him just because Sheffield United won. But mate, that was unreal. That just slightly off topic. How unreal was that seeing that come through?
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. What about just while we're on that, Jack? What were your thoughts on that? Is that a big shot in the arm for Leicester, seeing Man United getting beat by the Blades?
Well, doing the watch along with my colleague yesterday, Tom from Leicester Fan TV, and then he kept telling me Sheffield United to win, and I said, no chance. I didn't believe it. And then it kept coming from BT Sport. Obviously, we were doing the Leicester game, and it kept coming through. And then, like, Ollie Burke scored that second goal, and I thought, well, something's happening here. Man United, I think they just fell apart yesterday. But I think you're going to get that this season where a lot of teams, it's the unpredictability of the Premier League this season, and there ain't many points between the top six as you've seen in the table. And for that to happen yesterday and a point at Goodison Park for us were fantastic, and it takes us 5 points ahead of Liverpool with prior to their game tonight against Spurs. So
yeah, huge in it for Leicester Locks, that one.
Yeah, I mean, I was sat here, was it last Friday, mate, saying about it would be a story if Man United won the league.
Yeah, which I'm still fuming about.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the highlights because obviously I was watching the Leicester game, so I didn't see it. I didn't watch the game live, but I've seen the highlights. I mean, that Martial for that last goal when he just stood there. Yeah. I couldn't believe what I was watching. This is the thing with Man United. I do think that they've got a chance of winning the title this year. However, you just know in the back of your mind that something like that, a result like that, could happen any week. So I think that's the only problem that they have. They've bottled it. They could bottle it. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But Man City at the minute, they're just looking unstoppable. So it's going to be difficult for anyone trying to finish above them. Yeah,
definitely. I think Man United's hope of a Premier League title, 20 and 21, as they were saying, gets scuppered at the weekend when Arsenal beat them. To be fair, that would be nice if that was to happen. I think, especially with all the stick Arsenal fans will have took over the time with the relegation dogfight they were in early stages of the season. So yeah, it'll be quite nice if they turn that around and beat Manchester United. But let's get back to what we're talking about. We just needed to get that in there. Yeah. So Oscar, last time out, obviously 4-1. What were your thoughts on the game, and can you take any sort of positives from that ahead of Sunday?
It was a weird game, that one, wasn't it? Because obviously we went into that game after the Villa one, we won 3-0. I think it was the game after, and we have that chance in the first minute for Bamford. Yeah. Leicester go up the other end and score. Obviously, it's a mistake off us, but in that first half against Leicester, the midfield was non-existent. Tielemans, Mendy. I was trying to think who else started. Pratt, I think Dennis Pratt started that game instead of Maddison. I might be wrong on that, but it was definitely
because Maddison came on, and I think he
did come on, didn't he?
Passed it into under before he scored.
But we just couldn't get the ball. We couldn't get the ball. I think you were playing wing backs. I think it was all Bryson and Thomas were putting ball after ball after ball in the box, and we couldn't really get out. And to be honest, we went in at half time 2-0 down, and I couldn't really have any excuse about that at the time. But then second half, we came back into it. The second half, Pablo hits the bar. Stewie Dallas scores a slightly fortunate goal, and we start to really build a bit of pressure. And then that man, James Maddison, comes on. He turns click, plays Vardy through, in on goal, and it's 3-1, and obviously 4-1 on the penalty. I don't think it was a 4-1 game, in all honesty. But at the same time, Leicester were the better team on the night, no question about it. And for me, Leicester now are a better team in terms of overall play than they were then. I'd probably say in terms of consistency, and that's a slight worry to me. That is a real worry to me, because obviously we had Robin Koch on the pitch in that game, still conceded 4 goals. There's no Robin Koch in the team at the moment. Yeah, obviously Vardy's out, but it's a bit of a worry that in that sense. And obviously the way we've been trying to build at the back last couple of weeks, not even weeks to be fair, probably last month to be fair, ever since that Man United's game, I think we've made so many mistakes out the back. So that's a concern to me. It's all well and good making it against Newcastle. You get away with it because Newcastle aren't very good. But Leicester City, Maddison in this form, Harvey Barnes, Tielemans. It's a different story, mate. It's a different story. So, I mean, the challenge for us in this game is, can we go to a top 6 team? There's no question to me Leicester are a top 6 team. Yeah. You can't say Arsenal are a top 6 team and not Leicester. You can't say
Chelsea are a top 6 team.
Chelsea Leicester, Tottenham, categorically, in the last 5 years, have not got close to Leicester City's achievements. Leicester have won a title. They're in title contention this season. They almost finished top 4 last season. Champions League quarterfinals. There's no question about it. Leicester, at this moment in time, are a far better club than any of the others. So it's a big challenge to us, mate. It's a big challenge in this game. I think Leicester will finish top 4. But we see from these other games, away from home, Tottenham, Man United, Chelsea, we've kind of lost the game in the first half.
Yeah.
We've kind of lost control in the first half. So the big thing for me is just not necessarily go in defensively. We're not going to go in defensively, but stay in the game. Don't go 1 or 2 down before half time. Let's. To be fair, in that Tottenham game, I think we showed a couple of different bits and pieces. We pushed the fullbacks a little bit less high, so we weren't caught on counter attacks. And I think we are learning a bit in that sense. But that's the thing: is can we stay in the game? Can we stay in the game as long as we can and possibly hit Leicester on the counter, or for a moment of brilliance off Rafinha? It's going to be a really tough game for us, but ultimately, I think we're going to improve in these games as time goes on. So I think it's a big opportunity for us on Sunday, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I'm not going into it. This is what I like about Premier League football and being where we are at this moment in time, is that I can go into a game against Leicester and the way that we play and think, do you know what? If we get beat, we get beat. Leicester are a fantastic side. Whereas in the Championship, it was so pressurised, and we need to win every game. We need to get out of the division, man. We can't fall again, etc. And this season we've come up, we've done really well. We're safe. I know you might clip that up, but there's no worries from me as a Leeds United fan at this stage. Even though we're only halfway through, we're not going down. I'm confident enough to say that. So it's these sort of games where I can go in with the mindset of, well, just give them a game and hopefully we can get something from it. It'd be amazing if we were to nick something from this, amazing. But just on that game, I do think there's a lot in the fact that Bamford missed that sitter. I mean, it was literally 30 seconds after, because I remember the Sky cameras couldn't even keep up with it. They were still focusing on playing the replay.
I can still see it now, that goal kick from Schmeichel going over the top of Robin Koch, and you just see it in slow motion thinking, nah, surely not.
Yeah. But Koch made an error as well, didn't he? Koch made an error. He tried to control it and bring it back in, and Vardy was away and played Barnes in. So, and I do think the Leicester fans might disagree, and we'll ask them in a sec. But I do think if Pablo scores when it's, I think it was 2-1 at the time, maybe it's a different game. So they're the positives that I take from that. We are going to create chances against this Leicester side. It's just we need to be clinical, and it's like the word that I came up with, Oscar, clinicality. We need to have that clinicality.
That's the one.
But Jack, what were your thoughts on that last game? Do you, as a Leicester fan, are you really confident and think we beat them 4-1 last time, we'll spank them this time?
No game's easy in the Premier League. Let's put that out there. Whoever you play in the Premier League, it's never no easy game. You can't say, we're guaranteed 3 points, because we're not. Anyone can beat anyone this season, and it's proved it. But that 4-1 game, I think we dominated quite a lot of the game, and obviously, with that Stuart Dallas goal, what obviously went all the way through, Schmeichel didn't really see it until the last second. Pablo Hernandez had that shot, what hit the crossbar in the second half, which really he even thought that were in. But when Maddison came on and under, it was no different game, and Leeds fell apart.
Yeah. There's a lot in that, isn't there, Locks? I think under's so good. I've heard a few people say it as well, and we were chatting just a bit ago just about that squad depth. It's crazy at Leicester now, and that's what you need when you're in Europe, etc. But what were your thoughts on that game, mate?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think Leicester started the game. It surprised me. It surprised a lot of us, really. I remember being on here with you guys before that game, and prior to that game, Leicester had started games relatively slow. We kind of obviously let the opposition have the ball, and I think that was the first game of the season where I sat there and went, bloody hell, like, we're going for this. We went for it straight away from minute one, which we hadn't seen this season. So and that's really kicked us on really since then. We've done that quite often against teams now. So yeah, look, I agree with you, Joe. I don't think it was a 4-1 game at all. I think when after it was after half time, wasn't it, that Dallas goal, and you put quite a bit of pressure on us for 10 minutes, I think, after that goal. But I think when we get the third, it kills the game. Obviously, it makes it so much harder for you guys to come back into it. And as you said, with Under, Maddison obviously at that time wasn't fully fit, so he was coming off the bench. And what a player to have coming off. But Under's still at that stage now in his Leicester career. He's still at that stage where he is coming off the bench. Mark Albrighton's been magnificent for us. Didn't have a great game last night, and when Under came on, he showed the technical ability as to kind of take players on. He's like the closest thing to Mahrez that we've had since Mahrez, with his left foot. So it's always great having a player like that to come on. And whether he starts the game on Sunday or not, I'm not too sure, because I think Albrighton's been so good for us. However, if he does come on, he's gonna cause problems, and he did last night against Everton as well.
Yeah. I mean, you're in fantastic form as well, right, Jack? Undefeated in 9 now. You'd won 5 on the bounce prior to the draw at Everton last night. I mean, what are your aims for the season, Jack? Do you see yourselves as being in a title race?
I don't really want to talk about the title race yet. I think it's too early to talk about. Obviously, teams have still got games in hand, like Everton, Aston Villa, Manchester City. They've all still got games in hand, and until them games have been played, then we'll see where we are then. But I think top 4, if we don't win the title, Man City definitely will, I think. So, because they've got better squad depth than Man United, and they can just replace players just like that. So, yeah, I think top 4 this season if we don't win the title.
Yeah, is that the same for you, Locks? Do you think City anyone who finishes above City will win the league? I'd imagine, So Champions League would still be huge, though. You were talking earlier about people worried about the start of the season, about your squad depth, etc. So would Champions League be overachieving for Leicester this season based on the start?
I don't think it's overachieving. No, based on the start and based on last season, we fell apart last season. It was disgraceful, really. The second half of the season, I'm not going to blame the lockdown, because we were shocking, just before the lockdown as well. We got a 4-0 win, was our last game against Villa, but prior to that we'd lost to Villa in the cup, we'd lost to Norwich, we lost to Wolves, so it wasn't a great end to last season. And I think the players, we've said this on our channel throughout the past couple of months, we just hope that the players have learnt from it. They are young players, and Rodgers mentioned it last season that they are young. A lot of them are unexperienced, so it's always tough. Wanting players to stay consistent, young players as well to stay consistent throughout the whole season. But I think we can do it. I mean, I know you said obviously about whoever finishes above Man City would win the league. I was listening to TalkSport the other day. I don't know if it might have been Gabby Aponglahor, which I know obviously not a big fan of.
Fucking hell.
Well, the Neymar, according to Gabby Aponglahor this morning.
Honestly, he ain't got a clue.
But he actually said whoever finishes above Leicester will win the league. And
well, that's definitely not true. If it's come out of his mouth, Locks, then that's it. Sorry, get him over. You're getting relegated.
You know what?
Everyone wants a kiss of death, wasn't it? To be fair.
I don't actually think it was Gabby. I think it was. Is it Simon Jordan? Is that his name? The old Palace owner. Yeah. It might have been him. It was one of the two.
The point still stands, though.
The ball clowns.
But yeah, look, I think top 4 wouldn't be overachieving at all. I think we deserve it. Over the past, the last kind of 2 years, if you like, Leicester have been one of the best teams in the league, and I think it would be fully deserved and brilliant for the club if we get top 4 again. I think Leicester now, the problem when we won the league, we brought in some players to try and build on and try and maintain it, and the players were just wrong. They were the wrong players for the club. We went for big money signings, and like Slimani, who's just gone on a free after a £20 million signing a few years ago. Or it might have been 30 million actually. Damari Gray, he's on his way out. So yeah, we just need to, if we do get that top 4 finish this year, we just need to build on it correctly. We need to do it the right way. And I think don't go out and splash on loads of, world-class players. Just carry on with the ethos that the club have had over the past few years, because I think it's worked. So
yeah, it's great, isn't it, Oscar? I love it, me. I have no axe to grind with Leicester. I think it's amazing what you did, winning the Premier League, and now, like you say, being up there, really upsetting the apple cart, and I love to see it, man. And it really gives me hope as a Leeds United fan that we can also break into there as well, you know, because really, you know, seasons come, there was no one ever getting into that. No one ever breaking into it. And it's so, it's evened itself out now. And our actual owner, to be fair, said he's looking at the Leicester model on how yous operate and wants to follow suit now that we've got investment from the 49ers and stuff. So that must be a real, you know, feather in the cap for you as well, hearing that other clubs want to follow, you know, the model that Leicester have. But it is great, innit, Oscar, seeing a club like Leicester, and I mean that with the best intent, you know, I don't mean that to be negative, but for them to be breaking in there and looking like they're going to get Champions League, and once you get Champions League, you can then see about getting it on a regular basis, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just about getting there the first time, isn't it? I think even last season, I mean, I think Locks has been a bit harsh there on Leicester, to be fair. I thought you were really unlucky, to be honest, not to get into the top four. I thought over the season, compared to Chelsea and Man United, I thought you had played a lot better than those two teams, but ultimately it was just the quality just cost you a little bit, a couple of injuries as well, I thought. But look, I think you've just gone up that next level now. I think you've gone up that next level from last season, I think. And that's all you can ask for, really, constantly building. And the thing is, I really like Brendan Rodgers. I mean, it comes from I met him on holiday like about 5 or 6 years ago, and I can't tell you how
Friend!
He is a personality, to be fair. But he's and to be fair, I think he just left Liverpool at the time. I think I might be wrong on that, but I think he just left Liverpool at the time. But yeah, to be fair, and it's good to see it. You know, a young manager upset the apple cart a little bit. You know, in terms of the top end of the table. You know, he's not had to spend millions. He's not had to gel players into the team. You know, all this rubbish we've heard that need a season to get these players into the system and all that. It's not been like that for Rodgers. You know, he's had to cope with a lot. He's had to cope with losing Maguire for 80 million. I'm not saying I think it's worked out better without Maguire. Don't get me wrong, but that says a lot about Rodgers. The fact that he lost a defender for 80 million and didn't spend a penny up until this season on replacing them. That says a lot about the man, really. Yep. And the thing is with Leicester is, I have to agree, Joe. I mean, before kind of last 2 or 3 years, it was unthinkable that a lesser team, so to speak, would even break the top 6, never mind the top 4. You know, and to getting, you know, it is Leicester really have done that. You know, Leicester winning the title, and I guess Southampton a couple of years back as well did it a couple of times. But really, it's Leicester have consistently done that now, and I think if they do get in that top 4. That new state-of-the-art training facility, keep Rodgers. I think that's the big ask, is keeping Brendan Rodgers. I think it's obviously good for Leicester that Chelsea went for Tuchel. I did actually fear for Leicester a little bit there, you know, in terms of Rodgers' history of Chelsea. I'm not sure Rodgers would have took the job, but yeah, you know, who knows? But I think that's worked out well for Leicester, that. And you know what? A couple more signings, maybe. Bit more building. There's no reason why Leicester can't push for a title consistently. You know, you look at Liverpool, to be fair. Liverpool are starting to drop off a little bit now. I think Liverpool, if they don't recruit properly or back Klopp, there's a bit of rumbling going on there between Klopp and the board. You know, in terms of my neck of the woods, there is a lot of rumbling going on between Klopp and the board. And obviously City are City. City are going to stay there for as long as Pep's there. So, but I'll still look at Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham. I think Leicester have got a better footballing operation than all 4 teams. I think they've got a better coach. For me, I don't think any of the 4 managers of those 4 teams are better than Rodgers. And I think, you know, the only worry for me with Leicester is Jamie Vardy. Is that replacement for Jamie Vardy? You know, at 34, I know obviously you've done well without Vardy this season, but in terms of that presence in the dressing room, that experience, you know, that person the young players can look at, you know, your Tielemans, your Fofanas, who can look at and say, wow, that man won this football club a Premier League title a couple of years back. That man's a legend of English football. You know, I just worry a little bit in terms of that replacement, because he's a very, very, very difficult player. You need to spend about 70, 80 million to directly replace Jamie Vardy, for me, to be fair. But it'd be interesting to see what you guys think on that. I mean, does that worry a little bit? Jamie Vardy's getting on a bit in terms of the replacement?
I was a bit naive with Joe, you know, last Friday on Before the Whistle Blows, when I was bringing out these stats. You know, we've scored 13 goals since Vardy's last game, and his last goal, and we've won games without him scoring and all of this. But I think watching that Everton game yesterday, and it was something that was in the back of my mind and a lot of Leicester fans' minds as well. But you can just tell, Jamie Vardy has that aura around him. It doesn't matter whether you're a centre back playing for West Brom or you're playing for Barcelona. If you see Vardy running towards you, or you're going to get dragged out of position. You're going to get dragged out of position.
Sorry. Right, before we were playing around with this before we went live, and I put locks up. I thought I'll give it a go, and then Oscar's pressed him and brought himself up, and now he's muted. Sorry, guys.
That was what I was trying to do. I was trying to mute myself.
All I seen was this. You go.
I was trying to mute myself. Right.
Go on, Max. Take us away. Go on, carry on. Sorry.
No,
mate.
but yeah, I was just saying. Obviously, Vardy carries that aura around him, and any defender in the world, if you see if you're playing against Vardy, you're gonna put a lot of focus on keeping him quiet, and that does pull defenders out. It drags them away. And I think yesterday against Everton, you could see that Perez didn't quite have that. Kind of that pull about him, if you like. He's and the difference as well with Perez is that. He comes towards the ball. Vardy's always looking for those runs in behind and things like that. And Perez just isn't that player. And he did all right yesterday, Perez. And I think he will start against Leeds on Sunday. Because I think Iheanacho is just, I don't know, Bambi on ice. We like to call him. Yeah, garbage. But yeah, I think Perez. He has been good, but as you said, Vardy is just. There's no one else like him. We can't replace him. I don't think even if you spend 80-90 million, we'll be able to replace him in terms of a like for like. We're going to have to go for a different type of player. We're linked with Edouard from Celtic. We've been linked with Danny Ings in recent weeks as well. I've seen because he wants a top four club. But yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Vardy's irreplaceable. He never will be. Replaced by Leicester, and I think he's a one of a kind. I don't think we'll see a player like him in a long time.
Yeah, just to say, Locks, Bamford's not for sale.
He'd be a good signing, mate. He'd be a good signing, but yeah, I think it's a tough one. I mean, I don't know what the club want to do. I think Rodgers does want to take us away, and I said it a few weeks ago, slowly take us away from playing to Vardy's strengths. And I think we already have. There's other players chipping in with the goals now, and you've got Barnes, who he got a good few goals last season, but he's on a different level this year. Maddison, Barnes, even Albrighton's come up with a couple of goals, and that's kind of really unlike him. So Tillemans, with his long shots like last night, I think we are moving away from playing to Vardy's strengths. But I don't think we play as many balls in behind anymore to Vardy. I think the thing with Vards is that his football brain is that good. He can score goals from running behind. He can be that poacher. And we're going to miss that, of course.
Jack, if you could replace him tomorrow with anyone around, would there be anyone there that you'd think straight away, right, he fits the bill, let's get him in?
Messi or Ronaldo. Apart from that, no. There's no one to replace him apart from them too.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, it will be interesting to see which route Leicester go down, won't it, Jack? After his time's up.
I think it's just difficult, isn't it? Obviously, he's getting quite a few injuries. He's picking them up now, and obviously he's 34 years old. He's not getting any younger. And over the last few seasons, you've seen with Leicester, when Vardy's not scored, Leicester's not scored. And this season's the only season really where we've thought, okay, Barnes, Maddison, Tillemans, everyone's chipping in with the goals. And that's what we want to see with Leicester when Vardy's not playing. And when Vardy is playing, we're still scoring goals. So that just shows we're a team who's not just a one-man team. So if you look at Tottenham, it's just Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, really. And Man United is just Rashford, Martial, Bruno Fernandes, But Vardy, it's going to be irreplaceable. I don't think you can stick a price on a striker who's going to replace him, to be honest, and he'll be sadly missed when he is gone.
Yeah,
I'll take Mbappe.
yeah.
Mbappe,
Yeah.
PSG maybe.
Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland, that'd be a good shout, wouldn't it? I keep seeing him linked with Chelsea. If he goes there, I'll be absolutely fuming, man. I won't be able to enjoy him as a footballer anymore. But I can't see him going to Chelsea anyway. But just guys, we've got over 200 people watching. We've only got 66 likes. So if you could please smash a like on the video, please. That's greatly appreciated. One thing I do want to pick on, and someone mentioned it in the comments, Joseph Tiffany, and I totally neglected to actually look at the lineups last time out. But it is quite a key thing. Just looking at the lineups, Oscar, previously we had Melier, Ayling, Koch, Cooper, Dallas, Click played in the CDM, like just in front, the 4-1-4-1. We had Helder Costa, Pablo Hernandez, Jamie Shackleton, Harrison, Bamford. So, you're looking at a much, I mean, Hernandez started the game alongside
quite
Jamie
lightweight,
Shackleton.
isn't it? When you think of it like that, in terms of Hernandez, Shackleton in midfield together, Costa on the wing, it's very, in terms of, when I look at Leicester, I always think of power. It always seems like so much power in terms of pace, physicality. You've got Ndidi there in the middle, and obviously Mendy, Tielemans, a bit more skill and craft, but just seeing so much power in that Leicester team. And I do think, KP's back in. That's massive.
Having these three individuals now,
absolutely.
In the next game, massive shot in the arm. I mean, facing, I couldn't think of a bigger upgrade. And I don't want to be disrespectful to Helder Costa in terms of, I didn't think it'd be that big an upgrade. I didn't think the difference in quality would be, I thought there'd be a big difference, but I didn't think it'd be quite that big, in terms of, because Rafinha at the minute looks like a player who, I think I was asked today on Twitter, to be fair, he's someone who could potentially play for a top 16, which hopefully will be us. He's an important player to keep hold of, but that is a different level of battle, and I can definitely see Rodgers possibly adapting that left-hand side to Rafinha's strengths, possibly. Not to Rafinha's strengths, to try and counteract Rafinha's strengths in that respect, because that right-hand side, that first 20, 25 minutes against Newcastle, Ayling and Rafinha, the first kind of time we've seen it together for the last sort of 2 months or so, looks absolutely outstanding. Seriously, it looked outstanding. We could have really blown Newcastle away in that first sort of 20, 25 minutes. Yeah, I know the rest of the game it went a bit wrong, but everything we did in that game that was good came through Rafinha. Boys, just seeing that, obviously, I should have really done my homework. But just seeing, obviously, the added addition of KP, Rodrigo, and of course, Rafinha, does that have any bearing on Sunday's game? Do you think the fact that we had such key personnel out in that first one?
I think it just adds a lot more pace to the team. Obviously, Rodrigo, let's not be wrong, he's a good player on his day. Rafinha, I've been watching him quite a bit this season when Leeds have been on Sky, and he's been phenomenal. He's quick, his movement, his skill, he's got everything Leeds want. And if that's an upgrade for Helder Costa, that's definitely better. So, and Rodrigo, he can score with his head, he can score with his feet. You've definitely got a striker there if Bamford's not playing, and he can definitely score goals, which is proven not just in the Premier League, but in the Spanish league as well.
Yeah, definitely. What about you lot? Obviously, the added protection of having KP there instead of Mateus Click, it's just like chalk and cheese, the difference that'll bring to the game. I mean, we've been struggling from a midfield perspective lately, but having Calvin in there, does that change your opinion at all on this Leeds United side?
Yeah, I mean, did KP play against Newcastle?
Yeah.
He did, yeah. No, I mean, look, we won 4-1 in the last game, and as you said, those three players, for example, weren't there, and they're all, I don't see it being a 3-goal deficit this weekend. Obviously, Rafinha, as Jack said, he's been absolutely quality this year. I was speaking with you, Joe, before the game about who should I put in the FPL, him or Harrison. They both got on the score sheet, didn't they?
Both.
So so it's not too bad, but I think Rafinha is a massive difference, when you've got him in the team. Rodrigo, hopefully he doesn't annoy me as much as he does on FIFA on Sunday. He does me head in on there. But I think. But what I will say as well, though, is and I'm not too sure because we don't know if Ndidi will be back. Obviously, he picked up a knock yesterday in the game last night. Apparently, it's a tight hamstring, so we don't know how long he will be out. But we didn't have him in the last game at Elland Road. We had no Soyuncu as well. I think Castagna was out injured as well. We had Luke Thomas, who had a good game, but both sides have players coming back into the side which weren't there last time out, and I think it'll be interesting to see how that changes the game really. We played in a 3 as well, 3 or 5 at the back, last time out, and I'm pretty sure we'll be playing in a 4 this weekend. So.
Cool. So you've mentioned obviously no Jamie Vardy. You think that he'll go with Perez? Yeah, he went with Perez yesterday. Will he go with him again, or maybe we see Iheanacho?
I think Perez. I don't know about you, Jack.
The thing is, if Ndidi didn't get injured yesterday, I think Iheanacho would have came on. But Iheanacho needs confidence. He's not got the confidence that he thoroughly needs. And Perez. I like Perez, but he's no Jamie Vardy, is he? He hasn't really got the pace to make space or his movement and that. With Perez, he likes to play as a false 9. And that brings out more of the wider side of Leicester's game. And as you've seen at Stoke in the FA Cup, that Perez is a false 9. It creates space for other players like Maddison, Barnes, Tillemans. And it just brings them into the game a bit more. But Iheanacho, he ain't that sort of player. I don't think he's an upgrade from Vardy. If Vardy does retire at any point, Iheanacho ain't his replacement. I think we need someone better than that.
Yeah. So from a Leeds United perspective, Oscar, we're wanting Iheanacho to start then, yeah?
Well, I think to be honest, I think whoever does start, I think it's better than facing Jamie Vardy. I think that's a better prospect. But mate, I'm hoping James Maddison has a tight hamstring. To be honest, that is a fear. That is a fear factor in terms of Maddison. Last couple of weeks, I think he's definitely stood out. That Chelsea game, he was just probably one of the best individual performances I think I've seen all season. In the league so far. I mean, he was outstanding. I mean, I loved the interview as well. He gave the interview was for anyone in the top 6 or the supposed top 6. I just did it myself. Then the supposed top 5 plus Arsenal is kind of freaking out about that, saying, "Oh, he's arrogant and that lot." But the rest of the league's thinking, "You know what? Go on, James Maddison. Go on." Yeah. I love that. I love that interview. To be fair,
it's like a fan, isn't it? He speaks like a fan. Like it's just
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I loved how he sort of dug out Lampard and Chelsea at the same time about how they're sleeping on set pieces and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, yes, that is some interview. I absolutely loved it, and I love him as a player. And I think the way people fawn over Grealish, it should be the exact same for James Maddison personally. Because
doesn't get the same attention, does he? I've never understood that. Even last season when I thought Maddison was streets ahead of Grealish, I thought last season. I still think he is now. I still think Maddison's 2 years younger as well, if I'm right in saying. I'm pretty sure he's 2 years younger. And
so.
He produces more end products. Okay, maybe he doesn't get on the ball as much as Grealish, but for me, he's a lot more efficient. I prefer Maddison, to be honest. And I'd be surprised.
And he's not a diving numpty.
Yeah, he's not. I just think he's a better player, to be honest. I think he's an easier player to get. For a top team, I think he's an easier player to get in the team. The fact is, he's playing for Leicester City with loads of other top-class players, and he's still standing out. Grealish is playing with pretty average players, if we're being honest, maybe a bit above average in that sense. I just think Maddison, for me. I think Maddison, Gabby Abonlahor is talking about Grealish being better than Neymar, comparable to Iniesta and all this lot. Even this morning, he was talking about that. Villa lost the game, by the way. Last night. So there you go. To be fair, that's all we need to say about that. But Maddison above Grealish for me.
For me, Grealish is a stat padder, and he just with all his dives, winning free. He's won the most free kicks in the world, or whatever it is. It's painful to watch, but
it's just a comparison, isn't it, between Maddison and Grealish? I don't see this comparison. It's what it bigs it up, doesn't it, and what it is. And if you look at the stats of Maddison and Grealish, they're not really far apart from each other. But Grealish, that shoulder barge what he did on that West Ham player, and then took the ball and dived over. It just shows what kind of player he is.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Ridiculous.
But this is the thing. It's the media, man, and that's why I love. This is why I love fan media, and that's the way it's going, and that's how it should be, man. Because you get a better, because the way they fawn over Jack Grealish. I mean, listen, I'll bring it back again because I love talking about it. But when Frank Lampard was sacked, I watched Sky Sport News. you'd think he'd have died. You'd think he'd have died.
They got Harry Redknapp on, didn't they? The most impartial person you can get on. They got his uncle on.
Do you know Guillem Balaguer? Oscar's Spanish. He'll tell me if I pronounced that right. Guillem Balaguer.
Balaguer,
right? Okay. He was on Twitter though and saying how I can't believe there's no sort of fanfare about getting one of the best young coaches in world football in Thomas Tuchel to the Premier League. Why is everyone? And I wanted to say because Frank Lampard and he's English and he's the media's baby that everyone just automatically is giving beef towards Tuchel because he's took someone's job. And
he's took the heat off Bielsa, hasn't he, in terms of media hatred. Definitely. He's the new supervillain in town now.
I was talking to my partner. I had Sky Sports News and she's like, can we turn it off? And I was getting myself angry. This is what I mean. I don't know why I'm watching it. Because I was actually sat in bed getting angry going, for fuck's sake, man, he's not died. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's mad because the way that everyone has said, they even had Jamie O'Hara on. Why are you getting him on? Like, what's he got to do? But anyway, and I'm going on a rant here, but they're talking about how he should have been given time and all this sort of stuff. He had the worst points per game record than any other Chelsea manager under Roman Abramovich, and they wonder why is he being sacked in needed time? Because he was doing so poorly. If it was Sarri, if it was anybody else that had gone, well, he didn't win enough games and he had the worst points per game record. But because it's the other way, it's he should have been given more time. It's a load of shit. And it's the same sort of thing with I don't know how I got from Maddison and
Grealish was Brazilian.
What I'm saying is it's media, isn't it? It's media hype.
If Jack Grealish was Brazilian, he'd be the most disliked player in the world. He'd be the most disliked player in the world. He would be taken. The thing is, everyone slags off Neymar, and I'm not defending Neymar necessarily here. I'm not a fan of Neymar in terms of when he dives and that lot, but he's a far better player than Grealish. But everyone has a go at Neymar, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. You're on Match of the Day. You've got people on Match of the Day who say, Neymar, disgrace. Disgrace is the World Cup and that lot. I'm thinking, hang on a minute. You're watching Jack Grealish, 38 games a season. You're doing an analysis on him, and you're what? What? But that's what I mean. I can't get my head around. I'm not defending either player. I don't like that. I don't like that part of the game. I don't think that's an arse at all. I just call it what it is. I just think it is cheating. But if you're going to criticise one, at least be consistent with it, But I just think Grealish and Lampard I think they've always been defended. Look at Grealish off the field as well. Off the field, the behaviour. An elite footballer doesn't behave like that off the pitch.
No. Blood squad,
I was going to say the same thing. It was like with, do you remember that time Maddison pulled out of the England squad because he was ill, and then he was pictured in a casino a couple of days later, and the media were just like going for him, and I think he was left out of the next England squad because of that. And then you see the March, April last year, Jack Grealish is out there on his phone on Twitter saying, everyone stay safe, stay at home, help out the NHS. 4 hours later, he's out at his mate's house getting pissed,
and he crashed,
and then crashing his Range Rover, and it's like, and then he gets picked to the next
let's
squad.
not forget when he turned up at the court as well.
Yeah,
he was celebrated for the fact that he drove a dummy car in and walked in the other way, and everyone were going, "What a guy, man! What a guy!" And it was like, "Hang on a minute, he's there for drink driving." Let's not celebrate this fact because he could have, if he'd have managed to get off the street, he could have caused some serious harm. And you're celebrating the fact that he parked his car and all the press went there and he came in. Look at Jack! What a guy! What a guy! It's a lot of shit.
I think he was attending like the Grammys or something, not like you know what I mean. Mad.
Definitely. And he got in the next England squad, didn't he? I'm sure he did after that incident.
As did Kyle Walker, by the way.
Yeah.
But we've got almost 300 people watching us now, guys. We've only got 113 likes, though. So do the needful. Smash the likes on the video. Let's see if we can get some more people involved in this Leicester and Leeds preview before we finish. So please smash a like on the video. Jack, how do you expect you'll set up on the weekend then? From a formation standpoint, who's going to be the key personnel?
I think it'll be the same team what played Everton if Wilfred Ndidi ain't injured. I know it's a tight hamstring, but normally you can get them seen too, can't you? And Johnny Evans obviously came off as well with something to do with his vision. So hopefully they're fit for the weekend. But if Wilfred ain't playing, then I think the only change we'll really make is Mendy, or Albrighton might come out for Under.
What about you, Locks? What will we see, like, formation wise from Leicester? Will it be different to the first game, or?
Yeah, I completely agree with what Jack said in terms of the team selection and the players that will be coming in. Obviously, it'll just be Mendy if indeed he's injured. As I said earlier, we played a 3 at the back early on in the season with a 5, but obviously it was recently in recent games we've been going with a 4. So I think we'll stick with that. I think we'll stick with the same lineup as the Everton game last night. I said obviously I think we'll play Perez. I wouldn't be surprised if he gives Nacho a chance. I think, we'll just want to get through this period without Jamie Vardy unbeaten. I think if we finish with a point as well this weekend, I think it would be a good result, especially if Ndidi's not playing. So, yeah, I think we'll go with the same setup, same formation, same team as last night, unless there's some forced changes in the side.
Yeah, Oscar, I think the key thing for me from looking at the Leicester side is that midfield. Will it be Ndidi and Tielemans in there with Maddison in the 10, or even if it is Mendy, it still worries me because our midfield the last few games has been pretty non-existent, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I think, to be fair, I'd say at Leicester midfield, in terms of the different types of play you got in there, you got powerhouses in Ndidi, you got a bit of craft in Tielemans, and you got pure creativity from Maddison. For me, other than maybe Man City, Liverpool, I'd probably have it up there as one of the best midfields in the league by far, to be honest, in terms of all those 3 players they'd definitely get interest from like, your really, really top clubs in terms of your top of Europe's elite. So it was a big challenge for us, a big challenge for us on Sunday. I think Phillips against Maddison's massive. That's a massive, massive battle. I think Maddison, in that last sort of half an hour in the 4-1 game, he just had the whole of LMO to himself, didn't he? Really, we couldn't even foul him. We couldn't even get near enough to him to foul him. That was the thing. That was how frustrating it was. But that's what quality players do, and this is a big opportunity for Calvin Phillips, because if Gareth Southgate's watching and he sees Calvin Phillips have a good game against Maddison, there's absolutely no reason why he can't further elevate himself in terms of the pecking order in that sense as well. But I think we've just got to show on the ball, a bit more, quality in terms of building out the back. We're still creating chances. I know against Newcastle we weren't great, but we still created a lot of chances in that game. All season we created chances. I've no question we'll do bits in the final third. I think defensively we have improved, but our big problem at the minute is Tottenham. We gift a goal in the first half an hour. Yeah. Newcastle, the equaliser, we gift them and could have gifted them other goals. Brighton, to be fair, there's a bit of quality to that one. I was thinking of the other ones. Obviously, Man United, the first 2 goals in the first 3 minutes, we completely gift them. We've just got to get out of that habit in terms of, I'm not saying we need to start launching the ball forwards, but if it means we have to bring the whole team back when we try and play out the back, so we try and overload teams and give us more passing options, then do it. We've just got to make sure we stop gifting teams goals and chances when we try and play out the back. And I think obviously Meslier is one of the biggest culprits at the minute. And I love Ivan Meslier, but his distribution last couple of weeks has been very, very, very questionable, to be honest. Not so much in terms of quality, decision making hasn't been great. He's been trying to play lofted passes into the fullbacks when the pass isn't really on. And we can't afford to do that against Leicester, because Barnes, Under, Maddison, Perez, all these players, they score goals, in that sense. So, and the first goal is massive as well, Yeah, first goal is absolutely massive, because if we concede first, I only see it going one way, to be honest. I only see it becoming another game that we lose against one of the top teams heavily. But the only thing that annoys me about this thing, when we talk about losing to the top 6 heavily, is that's it. That's what you expect. This is the thing. This is what you expect, from teams outside the top 6 to lose heavily, because say at the start of the season when Man City were only really beating teams 1-0, the media would say, ooh, they only won 1-0 at the weekend. They only beat Sheffield United 1-0. And you're thinking, hang on a minute. You can't have it both ways in that sense. And the expectation is for us to lose most of these games quite heavily. And I don't see why it's such a big story. But yeah, look, if we concede first, it will probably turn into a similar game to the one at Ellen Road. If we score first, though, either way, it's going to be a really good game. There's going to be goals in this game. It's going to be a really open, entertaining game of football. Rodgers against Bielsa, two attack-minded managers, two managers who do play the beautiful game the right way for me. Should be a brilliant game.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Guys, get your questions in for Locks and Jack just on any Leicester-related stuff or the game itself. I just want to check a few comments. LUFC is live, says, can I ask what like does? I'm led to believe, mate, I'm a technophobe, but the more likes we get, we move up. So that random person might be...
A like guarantees Patrick Bamford first goal on Sunday. So it's up to you if you do it or not. All I'm saying is if we can see first on Sunday, that's on you. That's on you. So like the video.
Yeah, like the video. More people see it. We get more people in the chat. We get more people viewing it, more likes, more subscribers, all that sort of stuff. And it helps us for all the hard work we're putting in. Scooby-Hoo, I'm going to bring his comment up because he loves to comment and says, oh, you yawn, you're boring me, all this sort of stuff. So I just want to give him a big shout out. He says, Leicester have players who can score. Leeds have Paddy Bamford. Enough said. He's got 10 goals this season, Scooby-Hoo. Which ain't that bad, to be fair. So cut him some slack.
As I continue to say, you're nothing without Shaggy. As I continue to say to that person.
Oh, we have got him up. Yeah. And I like what he says here. It gives Joe wet dreams if you smash a like on the video. Yeah, thank you for that, Scooby-Hoo. But we'd love to have you here, mate, because, you know, you're giving us the views that we need. So thank you very much, mate. Get your questions in for the lads at Leicester City Fan TV. But Oscar, from a Leeds lineup perspective, what are you expecting? Are you expecting any changes? Do we think that Click comes straight back in for Dallas and we move Dallas at left back? Is Alioski's place going to be gone and back on the bench?
Yeah, I mean, I was amazed how many changes we made in terms of the starting 11 against Newcastle. I never saw Click getting dropped to the bench. So yeah, it's an interesting one in that respect. Obviously, Llorente isn't going to be fit, so you'd imagine it will be Struijk, Cooper as the back two. I'm still not sure about two left-footed centre-backs. I've still got my reservations about that. I think you saw a couple of times Cooper playing on the right of the two. I'm not sure about. He's so left-footed, Cooper, so I'm not criticising him for that, but he's having to come inside all the time. You're thinking if Leicester try and press us, they know they can use that as kind of a trigger. Every single time he comes in, they know they've kind of got us in that respect. So a little bit worried about that, but it is what it is. It's kind of what we've got to go for. I don't know, really. It's hard to say from there. Will Dallas stay in midfield? I'd have thought Dallas would go left back. I'd have thought Dallas would go left back, Click into midfield. I'd imagine so. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Does possibly Dallas go to right back, Ayling go back into centre back? That's a possible other option, but you can't drop Struijk. You can't drop Struijk. He was outstanding. I thought in that last half an hour.
Ayling, Pascal, Cooper, Dallas, KP.
Yeah, I think so.
Rodrigo, Rafinha, Harrison. And of course, Paddy Bamford going to get back amongst the goals. And when he does, Scooby-Hoo, make sure you come back. We've got some questions. We've got some questions for the Leicester City guys. Locks, I want to ask you about this as well because I've seen you tweet about this. Where is Gray gone? Mick Flanagan 12 said. So what's happened with Amari Gray?
Yeah, you probably see me talk about Gray a lot. I'm a bit of,
only a few times.
I'm not going to call myself obsessed. It's just there's a lot of Leicester. Well, no, there's not. There's one or two Leicester fans that back him up, and I don't think it's right. But obviously, I mean, we signed Damari Gray the year we won the league that season in the January. Obviously, he was just a bench player. He was like 21 or 20, maybe younger, 19 years old at that time. £3 million, and he's just never improved. He's one of them players who thinks he's good enough to play in these big games, play in the top for a top 6 team, Europa League football, and he's just not, I mean, Mason there in the chat has put Gray as potential. Look, I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. I mean, he's linked with Bayer Leverkusen now. Apparently, the personal terms have been agreed. It would not surprise me if Damari Gray goes there and turns into an England international, within a couple of years. However, his attitude stinks. There's been stories from in and around the club over the past couple of years about his attitude, that he's apparently a poor trainer, and He likes to, if he doesn't get picked for a game, he likes to remove Leicester out of his social media. It's just one of them, petty behaviour. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, like, and
sounds like a lot of work. That to me,
that's very strange, isn't it?
Very strange.
Petty.
Yeah, and I remember there was, I think it was last transfer window, or this time last year, last January, when he was linked with a move away to Bournemouth, and he then put a picture on his Instagram saying, "The shackles are off," and it's like, what are you doing, mate? Like, what is wrong with you? So, yeah, his attitude stinks pretty much. He's not improved one bit in the last 5 years, and he's been taking 60 grand a week, 70 grand a week from us, or something like that. So, for me, it's a good move for the club, getting rid of that. Dead wood, in my opinion. Like I said, he may have a future at a different club. He may turn into an England international, but it's never going to happen at Leicester.
Oh, good. Like you say, that's the risk you take when you're paying these young lads such high wages, isn't it?
Yes.
I still find it crazy that Man United give Jesse Lingard like 100 and odd grand a week. I think it's absolutely insane. Jack Russ, good friend of the channel, says, would you take anyone from our squad?
Rafinha,
yeah. Would he start? Would he get in?
Definitely, I think so.
Yeah.
Is that sort of player what I like as a winger? He's not too scared to like run at defenders, and I like that as a winger where you got the pace, the skill, and the footballing knowledge to know what you're going to do with a defender one-on-one and how to get into the box. And with Rafinha, he's shown that many times this season in pure class, and that's what I like about Rafinha. So yeah, Rafinha for me, definitely. What about you lot?
Yeah, I agree. I never come prepared with stats to any live show I do, but I have got some stats.
Oh, nice.
It's the only time, actually. No, it was just about Rafinha's game, obviously, against Newcastle. And it just listed, there's a Leeds channel which I follow, follow on Twitter. And
best be all Leeds TV.
No, it's a stats one. It's a stats one. But yeah, they were putting out, obviously the 1 goal, the 1 assist, 4 fouls won, 41 touches, 18 successful passes, 7 out of 10 ground duels won, 3 ball recoveries, 2 chances created, and obviously that look, he's been magnificent this season for you guys. I can't remember what game was that where he scored the absolute screamer early on in the season. I remember watching it live. It was one of the
Everton.
Yeah.
No. When he came in Newcastle on the left foot, boom, 5-2. No,
it may have been that.
Yeah, I don't.
West Brom. There's that many, mate. There's that many screamers.
There's been a few. There's been a couple.
Yeah, there has. Yeah,
that many.
No, West Brom. It was West Brom.
Yeah, and I mean, look, for me, it's incredible. I'll compare it to Maddison, not the type of player he is, but in terms of how that he can bring up a moment of quality, a moment of magic, to win a game, to get win a point, and it's incredible, having a player like that. For us, it's Maddison who can pop up with a worldy goal to win a game, and for you guys, it's Rafinha and obviously Harrison as well. But yeah, I agree with Jack. I think Rafinha would get into the Leicester team on that right hand side, and I'd take him any day. Yeah.
Will it be Justin who'll be playing at left back?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I mean, Castanha's played there sometimes this season earlier on, but in the last few games, it's been Justin on that left side. And Castanha's been on the right, but Ricardo's in the mix now as well. So Ricardo Pereira. So
it will be it'll be really interesting how that battle ensues, because obviously Justin likes to get forward. Rafinha's going to have to put in Graf going back as well. I've seen in games before where I think it was against Chelsea, it may have been, and also against Brighton when they had Solly March on that side. If the left-hand side likes to get forward, because Rafinha's not that great on the defensive standpoint, we see Harrison switch to the right quite a lot. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. But it'll be a good battle, because obviously if Justin finds himself going forward and we nick the ball, when that ball goes into Rodrigo, he just turns and looks straight to the right-hand side. Boom, Rafinha on your bike. So maybe that might be somewhere we could get some joy. I love this. The unambiguous says if we can keep Steve Guppy quiet, then we might get a result. Nick Carver asks, do you think there's any worry of Maddison moving on at all and clubs swooping in for him? Are you worried at all?
No, I reckon with Brendan Rodgers, he's got a plan and he's got like a blueprint of where he wants to be with his squad. And if he can keep his squad for many years to come, we'll definitely be up for title contenders each season, as Oscar said earlier on. So, yeah, with Maddison, I think he'll stay put for now. I don't see why he needs to go to a bigger team. Well, so-called bigger team like Man United. But
I hope he stays. I really do. I think it'd be a big mistake for him to. Because if you go to Man United, that's not a progression for me at this moment in time. You've got a choice between Solskjaer manages your career or Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers has managed Suarez, Sterling, trying to think who else is just tons of players. Henderson, all these players that have gone on to go to quite high levels. It was Rodgers who was in charge of him at a young age. So I'd love to see Leicester keep that team together. And look, you can have the odd bad apple like Chilwell, Maguire who want to move out, but I think the way you're rebuilding that lot, I wouldn't have even noticed if you'd had to, it's only the fact that I knew Chilwell and Maguire had left. I wouldn't even known that you had 160 million pounds worth of talent leave the door. You've actually been better since they've gone. So.
I think that's because we've replaced them with better players. Because look at Castagno, James Justin's upped his game this season. Who else have we got? Tillemans, Maddison, Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes is massive upgrade, and Brendan Rodgers' man management with the young players are very good stats. And his success rate with the younger players, it gets results, and that's what Brendan Rodgers likes to see. And obviously, we've brought Fofana in at centre off. And he looks like a older head on young shoulders. So,
Fofana is going to be some baller. I think Locke told us weeks ago, to be fair to him. And he looks a certain baller. I know. Did you pay like 30 mil for him? But it still looks like a snip, doesn't it?
He'll be £100 million player in a couple of years, easy. And I think. Yeah. When you've got these players from abroad, I think a lot of them they don't have that loyalty for a club. They wouldn't have that loyalty for a club like Leicester. You know what I mean? I think like Mahrez was one, obviously, who'd spent a lot of time in France. Kante, they both left us pretty quickly. So I think with Fofana, I think, to be honest with you, I think he said it before he even joined that it would be a stepping stone club and for him and his career. And for how we've replaced defenders so far, look, if we can get 100 million for Fofana in a year's time, 2 years' time, I'm sure we'll do our best to replace him with someone else.
Yeah, definitely. And they're at peace with that, innit? And that's what Leeds United do as well. Like now, try bringing players that do have a resale value to them as well, because, naturally, some teams might come a knocking. And I know there's a lot of people worried about Rafinha, but I don't see him coming from a Champions League club to Leeds to then leave straight away. He obviously knew that we weren't getting European football within one season, so he's obviously bought into the project. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, we've done an hour. Let's get some score predictions. I'm gonna let the Leicester boys go first, Oscar, and then we'll take it from there. Jack, score prediction for the weekend.
A bit a tough game, but I reckon we'll win the game 2-1.
2-1. Locks?
I think it's going to go one way or another. I'm saying, I'm thinking it's either going to be 2-0 or 3-0 Leicester or 2-0, 3-0 Leeds. So I don't know what to say. I'm going to go with, I'm going to have to go with Leicester, aren't I? So I'm going to say 2-0 to the Foxes.
2-0 to the Foxes. And Oscar?
I don't know. I do actually feel a bit nervy going into this one. I'm not nervy because we don't need the result, but I'm going to go for a Desmond. I'm going to go for a Desmond 2-2. I think 2-2. I think if Vardy was starting this game, I would have to go with Leicester. But I just think Perez. Look, he's bound to score now. I've said this, but I think that's a big downgrade in terms of threat. In terms of, I think Leicester's whole dynamic changed a little bit in that respect. But look, it could go easily 3-2 either way. But I'm going to go 2-2. As long as we don't make stupid mistakes. If we make stupid mistakes, we'll end up losing 3-1, 4-1. But if we just try and iron out those. It's easier said than done, of course, but if you just a bit cleaner playing out the back in terms of not giving the ball in stupid areas, then I think we'll be okay. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-2.
I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1 Leeds United. Upset the apple cart, upset the odds. And that march for European football will be back on. I'm still clinging on to that thought that we might get in there. Narrowly miss out, but who knows? We've got Leicester and Everton. It'd be great to get positive results from both of them. We just need a decent performance and hopefully not concede first and early. If we concede first and early, it's going to be a tough watch for our watch-along, Oscar.
I've got a funny feeling we'll score first, so I don't know why, and that's why I'm going 2-2. I think we might score first, and it'll be a bit of a up and down kind of game in that respect. But if we concede first, I think it will probably be a 3-1 kind of game, to be honest.
There's a few Leeds fans in there as well agreeing with you, mate, on that 3-1. But 2-1 Leeds United for me. But thank you so much for our guests tonight, Locks and Jack. It's been an absolute pleasure giving up your time to come over, and it's been a great chat. Jack, what can we expect from Leicester City fan? That's right, isn't it? Leicester City fan TV. Leicester Fans TV. That's it. I don't know. I'm sticking the city in there. My bad. What can we expect from you guys over the game and over the weekend?
Just expect an entertaining game. Obviously, Leicester v Leeds has always been a good game over the years. Obviously, with Steve Harwood scoring at the King Power and LEILEE and Alice from distance. But no, it's a good fixture, Leicester and Leeds. It's always entertaining, and there's always a lot of goals in it. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, we've got the watch along on Sunday, so hopefully it's an entertaining one for us.
Yeah, watch along, Locks. Is that all that you'll be going on? Are you doing a preview for the game? Anything? Oscar, I can't remember being asked to pop over to their channel. Can you?
Oscar has been
popping over on Sunday morning, my friend. I'm popping over to the pub on Sunday morning.
I did actually know that as well. I read the message.
You're going over to Alcudia, aren't you?
I'm going over to sunny Alcudia on Sunday morning.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll be live on tomorrow night on Leicester Fan TV. Looking forward to the game and as well having a chat with former Leicester midfielder Dean Hammond. Having a chat with him. So if you're interested in that, obviously, and you're not too busy watching all Leeds TV, then come and have a listen. But we'll be obviously talking about the game on Sunday as well. And then we'll have the watch along and as Oscar said, he'll be over talking to Jamie from the Fox's Arms on Sunday at 10 o'clock. Is that right? I think it's 10.
I believe it's 10 o'clock. So make sure you head over, guys. Head over about 10 o'clock, a couple of hours before the game. We'll be heading over. For a bit on Sunday morning anyway.
I'm live tomorrow for you guys as well. Is it Leeds Fan Hub? Is it at 11 o'clock tomorrow? So that should be interesting. Another Leeds channel.
Cool. That should be interesting. We don't plug them on here though. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. We are. We
can't stand them, but we're only joking. I'm actually joking. They are sound lads.
Great. And Logan Batterson said Lad to Leeds will be live soon. If that's the case, make sure you go check Lad to Leeds out. I think they might be doing it a little Twitch. That'll be good. Locks obviously won't be with us tomorrow before the whistle blows. He's sacking us off for speaking to ex-pros, which I think is out of order. And expect your P45 in the post, my man.
I'll be available for selection next Friday. So
good.
Who says she's going to get selected then next Friday? Tough pecking order.
We might get an ex-pro on instead.
Just get Jack instead of me. Replacement.
Yeah, man. Great stuff. Love this. We'll leave it with this. 147A Bazzy says, although we don't agree all the time, Oscar and Joe are the only way to go. Marched on together. Yes, that's it. And Philip says, there's only 181 likes. We've had over 300 people in. What's going on there? Please smash a like on the video. So tomorrow we've got Before the Whistle Blows. Saturday, we've got your big match preview. We'll have John on from All Stats Aren't We and another content creator as we look ahead to the big fixture on Sunday. We'll have a quiz after that. I think Oscar's going to hook us up with a quiz.
Got the quiz.
Yeah, we've got the quiz ready.
Prizes available this week. Still being discussed what the prize will be, but it will be LUFC Fan Zone. I think it'll be Sam who's joining us this week. And we will have prizes sorted once again for this week's one. So check it out, guys. Check it out.
Yeah, check that out. And then Sunday is match content day. Live lineups, the game itself, player ratings, post match, all that sort of jazz. So keep it locked to All Leeds TV as per. Make sure you check out Leicester City Fans TV. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Leicester Fan TV.
No.
I keep saying the city, don't I? I keep saying the city. Is there a Leicester City Fans TV as well?
I don't know.
Oh, that's all right then. That's all right. Otherwise.
I'll tell you what, they've got about 500 subs from this video, if there is.
Yeah. But yeah, listen, pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, you're legends. Make sure you check out Leicester Fans TV. And yeah, hopefully they'll get beat on the weekend. That's what we're hoping for. And we'll end the stream there and do that